Welcome back to Yes and by Marin YouTube. I am excited to be here again this Tuesday talking about authentic alignment. This week I come to you from Thailand. I took a week off last week because I'm on a 2-week holiday here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. And this week I'm going to be talking about how living in alignment got me to Thailand. Alright, I just hiked to change locations because the waterfall is very loud. Hopefully you can still hear it. It turns out this waterfall, I'm at Mesa Rim Waterfall in Thailand. It has 10 levels, so every time you hike up you just see a new level. So anyway, hopefully you can hear me. So I have 4 things I'm going to touch on today, 4 reasons why I think living in alignment has brought me to Thailand. These 4 reasons are knowing my values, actionable alignment with my values, budgeting, so intentional spending, and then the 4th one is vulnerability and courage. To go into detail a little more about each of these 4, to start with knowing my values. Why this is so important is because I spent the last at least 4 years, in 2014 is when I hired my first life coach, to really get to know myself and what I truly value. Why this is so important is because when this opportunity came in front of me to come to Thailand and to take off 2 weeks from work, it was very clear to me that this is something that was aligned with my values. This decision would be aligned with what I think is my best authentic life. A few reasons for this: I've been really intentional about desiring and asking for and being open to deepening my relationship, specifically my intimate relationship. And on top of that, to co-experience new perspectives has been a huge value for me. I've spoken about this here on Yes and by Marin YouTube before, and I just think it's so valuable to myself and also to my business. I'm constantly sharing with people new perspectives, what is possible, and if I have that perspective broadened even more by visiting a foreign country, what better decision to lean into my personal development as well as my business development. And the last is that I really value life balance. Taking 2 weeks off of work is a little bit out of my comfort zone, but when this opportunity was presented, I leaned into the idea that I want a life of balance. And that means that I don't take that life of balance in 5 years when I feel like my business is completely set and I'm really comfortable. That means that constantly I live into this idea of having life balance. The second reason I think living in alignment brought me to Thailand is that I have intentionally, actionably aligned with my values. So not only do I know them as working with a life coach and fostering that relationship with myself, but I have actionably aligned. And this has been baby steps, so maybe eating foods that make me feel alive, or getting enough sleep, drinking enough water. These things are actionable ways that I can align with my best self and my best life. Another thing though are maybe a little bigger decisions. So quitting a PhD program that wasn't lighting me up, quitting a job recently that wasn't giving me energy and would have taken away the opportunity for me to accept opportunities such as this that I'm in Thailand right now. And last, of course, to actionably foster my relationship that I have desired. So not only to know that it is something I desire and something I want to be open to, but something that I am willing to pursue and willing to actually step into. The third component I think got me to Thailand is intentional spending. I adopted a budgeting system in late 2017 called You Need a Budget. If you want to know more about this system, please ask me. I love it. And I've already gotten a few family and friends hooked on it as well. And this has totally shifted my confidence in my spending, in my savings, and in my future goals. But also it has allowed me to reflect in the moment when I'm about to spend money on something that is or isn't in alignment with my goals. For instance, some nice to haves. 1, ice cream. Ice cream is really important to me. I will be willing to spend $5 on a Culver's concrete mixer because it is something that fuels me in times of celebration. It's something that I know that spending $5 on this extravagance is something that I'm okay with because it is something that is true to me. However, when it comes to spending $5 or $10 on a drink, I question that. I look at that and I say, is that worth $5 in my budget? And not only is it $5, $10, but that's every weekend or every time that I go out to dinner with my family. Do I want to spend $5, $10 on this drink that isn't in alignment with myself? It might be in alignment with something else, with someone else. That might be your ice cream. But it is decisions like these, both small, such as the drinking, or large, such as do I want to spend a great amount of money on a system that I don't think I actually need for my business, that would just be really nice to have and luxurious. And now I have this budget to look at to see, do I want to spend that amount of money? Do I have that amount of money to spend? And then being so intentional about if that decision would be true for me. So not only is it just looking at how I'm spending, but it's critically thinking about, is my spending in alignment with me and with my values. And the last thing I want to touch on why I think living in alignment has brought me to Thailand is the idea of vulnerability and courage. All the three things I just spoke on and so much more are not possible unless I am vulnerable and courageous, unless I have the courage to quit the job or to stop the pursuit of something that isn't mine and really pursue something that is. The courage to buy a ticket 10 days before I leave and say, this is possible and I want to do this. And it's a little scary, but I think if I lean into this, I know that I can figure it out and that it'll be so worth it on the other side. And it is worth it on the other side. And to be vulnerable enough to really reflect on what it is I want, to reflect on who it is I am, and then to be vulnerable enough to ask for it and vulnerable enough to be open to receive it. So these are four of the reasons why I think living in alignment brought me to Thailand. Not only am I grateful for this opportunity to have presented itself to me, but I'm grateful for the way that I've been living so that the opportunity was possible to pursue, so that it was possible for me to say yes to something that's really exciting and that's really mind-opening and that's really energizing. That I have the opportunity to continue to live in this way, and that I know constantly I'm being directed toward my alignment, toward my best life, and this is one representation of how I'm already living. Now it's my turn, of course, to ask you, how are you living in alignment? And how does your living in alignment allow you to already live the life that you desire? To be vulnerable, to be courageous, and then whatever your other points are, to lean into what you think is worth spending money on, to lean into your values and then actionably aligning with them. And where do you need support? Potentially that's from someone like me, a life coach or an inspiration. Potentially that's from a resource that you already have or a support that has caught your attention but you haven't fully said yes to yet. I would be so interested to hear about your Thailand. Where have you stepped into your full authentic life and how did you get there? What are some of the things in place that you think allowed that to happen and that you want to continue to foster and nurture as you move forward? I look forward to returning to you next week right here on Yes and by Mar on YouTube and on all of my other platforms. Thank you for the brief pause as I took my full holiday last week. And I look forward to sharing all the new perspectives and energy that I gained while I was here in Chiang Mai, Thailand. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Please reach out, of course, on email, on my website, on Facebook, Instagram, and right here on YouTube if you have any questions or desire to connect with me. And I will see you next week, Tuesday.